Years ago when we started Legacy, I had no idea that the world would go the way it's going now, and that families like us would need a safe place to put our children. And so the world going crazy is not a surprise to God, and so I just find the timing of our new building providential. So I just kind of wanted to add that. Hopefully you have listened to the different videos that are out there. Our principals did a fantastic job of putting together the highlights of this past year. And we tried to honor your time in a sense that you don't have to watch hours of video. If you have a high school student, you can just watch the high school video, but I would highly encourage you to listen to your principal, and then admissions, athletic, and business. All of those, it'll take you 30 minutes, and they're very insightful, but you'll want to know what's been going on. I'm not going to cover all of those today. We wanted just to be able to give you an update on enrollment in the building, and so just be sure that you watch those videos. What I am going to talk to you about just quickly is enrollment. You hear us saying, oh, we need this new building. So I'm going to give you just an update. 95% of our families have re-enrolled. That's been the trend for about the last 3 years. We always lose our graduating class, so this year we'll lose 42 students. That's our largest graduating class. So after losing those seniors, through acceptance and what's in our hopper right now, if we were to start school tomorrow, we would be around 600 students. We're currently at 530, so we're growing. We're not sure where we're going to put them, but what we're trying to do is to find some spaces for faces. If you do the numbers, and we're growing by 15 to 20%, and you work that out over the next couple of years, by 2023 we're looking, and that's when the building opens, 2023, we're looking at about 700 students that fall. And then the next fall is 2024, and we're looking at over 800 students. So that, again, the building, I think, out here is providential. Our campus is growing, which means our programs are growing as well. And so while I'm not going to get into all of the great successes that we've had, I do want to mention that we recently had a foil play that was completely sold out. It was phenomenal. If you didn't see Cinderella, it was awesome. We had kids from elementary all the way up through high school participate in that. We've had multiple state championships, state finalists in athletics. Our robotics team has varsity and JV, and they're winning, are they matches? They're winning their matches. They're winning their meets, whatever those are called. That program is growing. We added a forensics program this year. Our orchestra team did well. I don't know what to call these things, but anyway, the orchestra even performed at some of our plays, and anyway, there are just, in all of the aspects of our school, we're seeing growth. And so we need to make sure that we're able to support that growth. I even heard today that there was a PowerPoint presentation for a fishing team. So I'm not sure what to do about that. I like catfish and okay. All right, I want to talk to you quickly about just some enrollment insights in what we're seeing. If you listen to Brittany Cutter's video, you've probably heard some of it, but it's front and center with what we're dealing with right now. So COVID, all of you probably that have been here since, I would say, 2019 know how blessed we are that we didn't miss a beat through COVID. Our kids got to complete their studies, and we tried not to leave anybody behind. Obviously through video wasn't the best way to do things, but it was the only way at the time. Well, we're seeing the effects of how some of those students have fallen through the cracks. In our younger students, we're seeing some delayed speech and development issues, and in our older students, we're seeing some academic gaps. And so as a preparatory school, we've got some really creative ways that we're trying to work through those things and not just deny parents based on some of the needs of their students when they're great families. And so, some of what Legacy looks like may change a little bit over the course of time until we can help some of these kids get caught up. But the other areas that we use, faith in Christ and things like that, those are still there. But we're trying to figure out how we can help some of these kids who've been kind of left behind, if you will. But we're also seeing families who have been displaced by COVID, families that have left other states and are coming to our communities, families that have left their churches because their churches closed down. So we're seeing all kinds of different issues coming through in our recent family interviews. And as I said, if you'll be sure to watch Brittany's video, she goes into a little more explanation of some of the things that we're working on to try and help some of these families. Culture is a big thing, and we're seeing and hearing lots of tales from families that are coming from other states and other schools, things that they're seeing in elementary that are disturbing. And so if there are good things that have come from COVID and sort of the world going crazy, it's that parents are beginning to wake up and they want to know what their children are learning. They want to know what's going on in the schools, and they want to spend more time with them. And gee golly, this is the perfect place to do that. So all of that really works well together too. And then space. So we're going to talk a little bit about what the space looks like, but our informational meetings have been full. We have had full showings in all 3 meetings. We still have one more information meeting on the schedule, but I can assure you there will be at least 2 more. Usually in the summer, we see the high school students come. They're not certain if they want to leave or not, and so sometimes they're the last to come through. But like I said before, this is no surprise to God that this is happening at this time. And honestly, it's no surprise to him that we might have a space for some of the people that are coming. And so I feel like our theme has been appropriate this year in rising up. Parents are looking for that. They're looking for people that believe the way that you do, and to have their kids in a bubble that is safe until they get a good grounding of their faith. All right, so let's talk a little bit about our current building. You're all familiar with it, I'm sure, but I just want to give you a look at our current situation. So this is the bottom floor of the building that you are currently in. The red circle is room 105. That is right now being used as an elementary classroom, but we're going to lose that room to an IT closet. Obviously, as we're getting bigger, we're going to need to update our infrastructure, and so that room will be lost to technology. And then you'll see the room circled in green. That's the athletic office. We're going to bump our athletic director out of that building and move him, and then so it's a net of 0. We keep that room. All right, then we're going to move upstairs, and all of the rooms that you see there are currently being used by our high school students. There are some middle school classrooms up there, but where you see the red X, that's where the building is going to push through and attach to the new structure. So we're going to lose that classroom. It's currently our forensics class and chemistry class. That class will be pushed out, and I'll show you here in just a second what that space is going to look like. So currently on top and bottom of this building, we have 20 usable classrooms. Just keep that in mind. Here is a look at what our portables look like, and I just want to give you a brief history for those of you who may not know. In 2013, the shape of those portables, that quad, was our middle school and high school campus while this building was being built. Our elementary students were at Woodland Place Church, now Crossview, so we had 2 separate campuses while we were waiting on this building. And at the time, those were temporary. We believed we would move into this building, that we weren't going to fill this up. We'd have plenty of time to grow and raise money for a new structure, and obviously they're still here. That didn't happen. We were 200 when we left there, about 400 when we got here. So the portables needed to stay. Currently, they are being used 14 academic classrooms. The green are locker rooms and athletic storage for athletic equipment and uniforms. You can see there's a library, some admin space, and a workroom, and then the 2 rooms over here used as restrooms. Initially, when we were here where the library is and this classroom, those were lunch rooms. And so because we kept growing, we pushed the lunchroom out, brought everybody over here, and so the portables have definitely served their purpose over the last few years. So a total in this building, plus the portables, of 34 classrooms. So as we were trying to figure out what this building would need, we knew at minimum we would need to replace the classrooms. We needed at least 34 classrooms. So I want to show you, obviously we're going to have a transition before this building is completed in January-ish of 2023. So we have a transition of bringing in over 100 new students, this building not ready. How do we use the space that we have now to accommodate the new growth? Well, we're going to be bumping more people out of their office and workroom space and using those rooms for classrooms. So we're going to gain 2 more classroom spaces from workroom and admin offices. We're going to pack up the library. It will become mobile, so we'll have a mobile library, like a bookmobile type thing in the first semester, and then that's going to become an admin office space and a workroom, and then our AD and our coaches will remain out in the portables for the time being. Okay, so you weren't able to see this from the drive, but this is our slab. It was poured a few weeks ago. It's had time to sort of sit and get ready, but I wanted you to see sort of the footprint of it. It's almost identical in length to this building, and it's going to have the same number of classrooms. It'll have 21 new classrooms in it. On the end closest to me, where the little red dot is right there, that's going to be a multi-purpose room. And I'll talk to you a little bit about what we're going to put in that room as well. All right, I want to show you real quick here. We did a little rising up today. This is our steel. Yay, yes. We finally went vertical. Y'all would really be clapping if you knew the story behind this, but I will just tell you this. We had to make a decision in October, actually before that, due to supply chain and interest rates, that we were going to have to jump in and order this. If we wanted this building to be ready in January, we were going to have to order it now. And so we ordered, I believe, we ordered that steel in October, and it got here April the 8th. So that's how far in advance. If you want to know why we acted quickly, maybe before we had fully funded it, that's why. And already we're seeing, we're being affected by some of the supply chain issues. At this point in the process, we are about 20% complete. So over the next few weeks, the steel will continue to come, and you'll begin to see the structure behind us take place. Okay, so what is that going to look like, hopefully this time next year? Or here is a front, you should have seen these around the campus a little bit. This side of the building is the new portion. In the middle is the sky bridge that connects the two, and this side is the building that you are currently in. So the new portion is sitting on this side. All right, let's talk a little bit about what the inside of this is going to look like. This is the bottom floor of the new building, and our elementary students will be in this portion of the building. There are 10 classrooms, 2 to 3 additional office spaces, a lobby, a workroom, a teacher conference room, additional storage. We already mentioned the IT. And then the multi-use room was something that we kind of at the last minute threw in there because we realized we weren't going to be able to afford an additional multi-space building. So we threw in a building that was about half the size of this area here. And we are thinking in this building will be foil practices, robotics, cheer, elementary PE, sometimes middle school PE, but all of the things that are in here that kind of take up space when athletics are going on, or for those organizations that get bumped out of here because maybe a team made the playoffs, we're hoping that this space helps fulfill that need. It's a multi-purpose, fine arts, robotics, everything you can think of, informational meetings. Hopefully this space will provide a place for those types of events. All right, here is the second floor of the new wing, and the same thing. There are 11 rooms upstairs, And my favorite part, there are some dedicated rooms, and we had a lot of fun decorating, but 11 total classrooms, also offices, additional conference rooms, workroom and storage. We have a really cool student area where they push through the wall. We're able to use, we have a space there where it'll be open, where the students can sit in sort of study hall in between classes if they have a break in between classes. We have an additional workroom. And then here on this side at the top, we have a dedicated physical science room, so chemistry, forensics. It's got fume hoods and storage places for beakers and chemicals and all of those fun things. And then just under that is a dedicated life sciences room. So we'll have the refrigerators for all of our little animals that we're cutting on, sinks, and all of those things. They've got, each of those classrooms has special tile on the floors, so we're not messing up carpets and things. There's just been a lot of thought that has gone into those designs, and we've had our science teachers help us put those together. Now in this building, this area, this will be mostly our high school students. And then they'll also use some of the current upstairs of this building. So if you have a middle school student, you may be wondering where they're going to be. Well, they get to be on the bottom floor of this building and some on the top of this building. So if we've done our job and we've planned correctly, all of our students will be inside either this building or that building. They should not be out in the portables. So we can get rid of the portables. No, we can't. Psych. No. Big red ugly X's. So what we can do is get rid of 3 portables. There are 2 portables on this side and 1 portable here. We are able to get rid of those, but what we don't have room for is storage. We are going to use the back portables over here for just general storage for us. Foil storage, I think they have 1 or 2 storage units, and so it's cheaper for us just to use the portables. So we're going to move all of their stuff over here on campus so they don't have to go to storage units to get their stuff. And then we're going to have move the locker rooms to this front portable, so it'll be boys, middle school and boys locker rooms. And more storage. Then we'll have some girls' locker rooms. We'll move the library back where it was, and we'll have the coach's office out there as well. What we need in order to be able to move forward is to build our field house, which will house our athletics, have coach's office, a weight room. And I'm not sure if any of you heard, if you have an athlete, you know, but we basically had the rug yanked out from under us with our current weight room. So Clint and his gang had to move all of the weights into another weight room. We're month by month there. So if we can build our field house and put all of that somewhere along with offices and storage space for athletics, then we can get rid of the portables, and then we can finish our master plan, which is this space. I don't know if my little thingy will point up there, but that little space right there is a multi-purpose center. We haven't designed it yet, but we are trying to work together to form a big space where theater can put on their performances, where robotics can put their stage. It's not a stage, but fighting rink. What is that called? What? Okay, I can't hear you, but anyway, y'all know what I'm talking about. It's a thing that okay. So robotics can do that. But it'll be a multi-purpose space used for graduations, informational meeting, productions, for our orchestra. And then on the other side of that would be another gym, because we need both of those things desperately. Our athletic programs are growing, our fine arts programs are growing. So we really need this space, but we've got a couple of things that we've got to take care of before we can do that. And then this last little section right here, that's the final piece. That would eventually be a high school section. And so the hope is to have an elementary, a middle, and a high school, like 3 separate schools, so they kind of have their own place. And so we would move high school to their own campus, and all of the kids would kind of have their own space. That's our dream. That's the master plan. We've tried to work that out in a time that we can afford and pay for. So I just want to mention, as I'm talking about this, where we are. 840 students is the max for these 2 buildings, and we're 3 or 4 years out from that. So we need to hossy up with getting all this built so that we can have a place for everybody. All right, I think that I've actually covered all of it. I'm really honoring y'all's time tonight, yes. All right, so let me just tell you quickly one more time, remind you one more time, please be sure to watch those videos. They're way more informative than I just was about everything that's going on at Legacy. I try to just keep it to what's going on out here. Number 2, I just want to be sure to call out Brayton Construction, who is building this, and Studio Red, who is our architect. They're a fabulous team working together. Thank you, Terry Hargis. If you're in here, he's helped us. And thank you to our board. They have done a fantastic job. There's a lot that you have to work through, permits, and I know way more about building than I want to know. But I'm excited about what is happening. I see God working. I think his timing is always perfect. And then just, if you have any questions about anything, or you saw our board members, please feel free to ask us. We're happy to talk. This is all we talk about. So we're happy to talk about this with any of you. And then Mrs. Keys has put together some treats and coffee over here. So hang out, fellowship. We'll flash the lights if it gets too late. But just wanted to tell you all thank you for coming. And we just appreciate every one of you. Hope you're having a great year. And if we don't see you again, be blessed. So thank you, guys.